In order to fully understand all the concepts and terms that will be brought up and used to explain inflection, start with the orientation for this course, which is the first video of this playlist, and move forward from there in order of the rest of the playlist. This will be the second video out of the 15 videos explaining Inflection Route number 1. And as explained in the orientation, Inflection Route number 1 and 2 are not each a rule, but each a set of rules. So we will be starting with Inflection Route number 1, which means that we will look into all the rules that together constitute Inflection Route number 1 and learn which one to apply in which situation. And also, as explained in the orientation, whether we will apply the rules of Inflection Route number 1 or 2, that depends on the ending that we are using, since some endings belong to Inflection Route number 1 and some belong to Inflection Route number 2. You can download a PDF file through the link in the description that will list and show you the endings that belong to each route. So, today we will start with the third situation within Inflection Route number 1. The third situation is when a display form of a verb or adjective ends with the vowel 에 once 다 is erased. For example, 재다, 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 which is the display form of the verb measure. You can see that in this case, the display form ends with the vowel 에 once 다 is erased. In this situation, in order to inflect the ta ending, which is functionally empty, which means that it means nothing, therefore does nothing. So in order to inflect this ta ending into some kind of a new ending that actually carries an actual grammatical function or attribute, we will apply a two-step formula. Step number 1, erase ta, which we already did, and then step number 2, now immediately attach the ending, the new ending that you want to use instead of ta. So in this case, let's first use the ending for actual form present tense, which is 요, 요. Since 요 is an ending that belongs to Inflection Route number 1. So according to step number 2, I can immediately attach 요. So according to this two-step formula, now I have the actual form present tense of the verb measure, which is measure. 재요, 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 instead of the display form of the verb measure that I cannot use. So, according to the same mechanism, if I change the 요 ending into the 써요 ending, which indicates actual form past tense, since this ending also belongs to Inflection Route number 1, now we have 쟀어요, 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 which is the actual form past tense of the verb measure, which is of course measured. So for example, we can actually place it in a real sentence since now it is an actual form that has an actual ending that actually has a grammatical function or attribute. In this case, the function of indicating actual form past tense, and say something along the lines of I measured accurately. So in this case, first of all, the subject I will usually not stay in the sentence. Now why is that? Because in Korean, anything that is too obvious according to the context or situation usually is omitted. In other words, erased and does not stay in the sentence. So for example, let's say my friend says, hey, you told me that it's 15 centimeters. Are you sure? And my answer is going to be, I measured accurately. In that case, according to the context and situation, of course the subject is I, because I'm the one who measured and you asked me, my friend asked me, whether I am sure. So we're just going to place the verb measured and use the adverb accurately. So, according to the grammatical structure of Korean, usually adverbs will come first and verb last. So, the Korean sentence will look like 정확히 쟀어요. 정확히 쟀어요. 정확히 쟀어요. And that would be the equivalent of saying I measured accurately in English. For another example, we can use 개다, 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 which is the display form of the verb fold. However, a very specific version of fold, which is only used when folding clothes, usually clothes, or anything made out of some kind of cloth. So including, for example, things like curtains. So you can see that also in this case, this display form ends with the vowel e once ta is erased. We will use the same formula, of course, to inflect the ta ending into some kind of a new ending that we can actually use to indicate actual grammatical function or attribute. So in this case, let's use the ending 야돼요, 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 which is an ending that indicates that grammatically plays the role of have to. 야돼요. And of course, 야돼요 is also an ending that belongs to inflection route number 1. So, according to step number 1, we already erased ta. And then, according to step number 2, I can immediately attach 야돼요. So now, according to the two-step formula, now we have 개야돼요, 개야돼요, 개야돼요. And now, it is no longer just fold, now it's have to fold. So, we can actually place it in a real sentence, for example, and say something like I have to fold clothes. Let's say someone asks me, are you ready to go to bed? And my answer to that is no, not yet. I have to fold clothes. So in this case, once again, the subject I is too obvious. So therefore, let's take away I. And then now we have a verb and an object. So of course, I am not going to look at have to and fold as 3 separate grammatical components because have to is now simply a part of the verb fold as an ending to that verb. So altogether, the Korean sentence will look like 옷 개야 돼요. 옷 개야 돼요. 옷 개야 돼요. Okay, so now let's move on to the fourth situation within inflection route number 1, which is when display forms of verbs and adjectives end with the vowel 에 once 타 is erased. So, the vowel that we talked about in the previous third situation and the vowel that we are talking about right now in the fourth situation, now they sound exactly the same. It's just that some words use this and some words use this. It is kind of similar to F and PH in English. Okay. So that is the fourth situation, when a display form ends with the 에 vowel once 타 is erased. Well, for example, 세다, 세다, 세다 is the display form of the verb count. In this fourth situation, in order to inflect the 타 ending into some kind of a new ending, we will apply the same two-step formula. Step number 1, erase 타, which we already did, and then now attach the new ending that you are going to use instead. So this time, let's use 요, which once again indicates actual form present tense. So according to step number 1, we erased 타, and according to step number 2, we can now immediately attach 요. 세요, 세요. And now we have the actual form present tense of count, which is count, 세요, instead of the display form of count that I cannot use. So now, since we have an actual form that has an actual ending, let's actually place it in a sentence for practice and say something along the lines of count slowly, count slowly. In this case, the Korean sentence will look like 천천히 세요, 천천히 세요, 천천히 세요. And that would be the equivalent of saying count slowly in English. That was it for this video, and in the next video, we will move on to the next situation and keep moving forward until we cover each and every situation within inflection route number 1 and how to apply certain rules of inflection route number 1 within each situation. So once again, inflection is by far the most important aspect of learning Korean. So if you fully grasp inflection through this course, you are not taking a step forward, but you're taking 1,000 steps forward. So don't give up, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you.